Hello friends, and welcome to another installment of Poetry Friday. So this poem is a prose poem that I wrote a couple of years ago, so it's a little bit older, but I still like the content of it, and I think the writing is pretty lyrical, and it was originally a poem, but I expanded it into a longer form flash fiction-y kind of piece. I have the trigger warnings as usual listed on the screen, as this story is quite dark, just like most of my work. Happy vedif and enjoy. Monsters in the dark. When we were little, we played with the shadows. We wrapped them firmly around our slender shoulders, let them drape, slink, murmur, and slither, alive as you and I. In the summer bright sunlight, our silhouettes cast long, deep, wet shadows that consumed with their worming tongues our tear-stained cheeks. Blood wept from our skinned knees. It was easy for them to hide in the blacktop on the basketball court, shielded from the sun, but not the heat. The shadows panted, and you giggled at their foaming mouths and took my trembling hand. There are friends, don't you see? And I couldn't say no to your pearl smile and dimples and sunburnt cheeks. The daisy-chained neighborhood girls called us strange, wicked, corrupt. Half-creatures made of smoke and whispers, lingering with black magic and the occult, like odd Johnny on the corner of Acorn in Philadelphia. Luckily, the shadows love soft things more, and we were not the monsters they should have feared. At dusk, you bounded down the street to our treehouse, but the carbon copy Lisbon sisters and their friends cornered us on Reading Road. A firefly buzzed near my ear, and a moth crept across the sidewalk, one dusty wing cracked, hanging on to life by a thread. One of the sisters popped her gum while the youngest crushed the moth under her white sneaker heel. With a crunch, the flame of life is extinguished, and the sun disappeared below the hazy horizon. In the dark, my anger blazed instantly, and without thinking, my knuckles connected with her sunburnt cheekbone, and with a crunch, her smile extinguished, and she slammed to the blacktop. "Fuck you," I snarled. A pure hatred bubbled. I didn't know I was capable of that. You grabbed my shoulder, and we ran away into the night, our shadows trailing after us with growling stomachs. Several days after, I am shoved off the swing set, and the Sunday best shoes connected with my stomach, ribs, spine, arms, legs, face. Spinning lights arc overhead as if the world suddenly has 3 suns. Screams and sudden blackness accompany an icy chill up my back. When I squint a swollen black eye through the mulch, the shadows are gigantic figures with too many teeth and too many eyes. The Lisbon sisters never return home for dinner, and every available lamppost is covered with their pretty, identical faces. I never tell you about how full I feel for a week after. Later that summer, when the eastern woods caught the wrong end of a cigarette, a fire spewed for days with a sharp heat. It is palpable and tangy. The flames breathed out humid, sticky, vile air into silvered skies, giving you and me a front row seat to destruction. Our mouths connected in ashy ecstasy, exploratory and explosive. I knew the town would talk if they ever caught my lips on yours. But I couldn't help my growing hunger in my belly, especially as my fingers reached for your freckled skin, and I saw why the shadows loved how you tasted. The church knitting group thought the fire burned through the accursed, ruining the monsters in the dark. But we still linger, live, hunger. Each night I dreamed of you and the summer's heat. And somewhere between the landscape of nightmares and dreams, my hunger grew back its fangs and claws. Blood dripped through the slats of our treehouse, and a firefly buzzed by my face, blinking at me. I tried to understand the Morse code, but I'm too full and lazy to think about it too hard. The thoughts float down the river, far from reach or memory. And deep inside, I felt the bright flare of you, your pearly whites crunched between teeth, your freckles like salt and pepper, and your lips that tasted like ash and cherries. Friends, indeed.